Okay, the last line we are learning about is the altitudes, and the altitude is actually just another name for the height of a triangle. Okay, so the altitude starts at a vertex, and the altitude is perpendicular to the opposite side of that specific vertex that you are talking about. Okay, so if we look over here, our vertex is A, and it's going to connect to the opposite side, but it's going to be exactly perpendicular to BC. Now, in an acute triangle, all of the altitudes are inside the triangle. So even if I started from B, I'd have an altitude here. If I started from C, I'd have it right over here. Not a problem. It connects to the opposite side. In a right triangle, the altitude is one of the legs of the triangle, which means the altitude is actually one of the side lengths. So if we look at B, the altitude, well, it just drops down because there's already a right angle there. Same from C. There's your altitude. Okay, if we were to go from A, then yeah, it would be inside the triangle. Now, an obtuse triangle, two of the altitudes are actually outside of your triangle. And when that happens, it's not a problem. So if we look at the altitude from B, it's not going to connect anywhere between A and C. So what we do, we extend that opposite side length a little bit, and B is going to drop down right over here. It's outside the triangle, not a big deal. Same thing with C. It's not going to connect inside AB because there's no way a right triangle is going to form there. So we extend BA, and then there's our altitude right over there. Okay, so let's actually try to find the equation of the altitude. Okay, so when we're talking about an altitude, because there's a perpendicular side, we know we're going to have to find the slope and find the negative reciprocal. So our first step, let's just plot our points. So we have a point at 1, 4, negative 5, 2, and then 5, negative 3. So that's B, I, G. And I'm going to connect them to create my triangle so that I can see my altitude when I draw it in later. Okay, so I'm trying to find the altitude from B. So I know B is automatically going to be on the altitude. Now, I know my altitude is going to be perpendicular to IG, so my first step is going to be find the slope of IG. So I'm going to have change in Y, negative 3 minus 2, over change in X, 5 minus negative 5, so that I end up with negative 5 over 10. Do not keep it like this. It could be so much cleaner as negative 1/2. Now, because we know it's going to be perpendicular, our negative reciprocal slope is going to be positive 2. And we can actually draw that. From our point, we can apply a slope of 2. So I'm not going to go up 2 to the right one because I'm going to be outside of my triangle. So I'm going to go down 2, left 1, down 2, left 1. And I'm just going to connect my points just for that visual. And we know that that's perpendicular. Now we have a slope, we have a point. So we can find the equation, no problem. My slope is 2, and my point is 1, 4. So y equals 2x plus 4. Sorry, y equals 2x plus b. Let's sub that point in. 4 equals 2 times 1 plus b. 4 equals 2 plus b. Let's bring the 2 to the other side. 4 minus 2 is 2. So the equation is 2x plus 2. Okay. Now, when the three altitudes join, that is called your orthocenter. And that's the point of intersection between all three altitudes. Now, the special feature of the altitude is just that it's the height, and the height is the shortest distance from the vertex to that opposite side. So I'm actually going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to write AKA height. And I'm just going to make a note about the shortest distance because we are going to use this knowledge later on. And it'd be nice if we could remember it. Okay, just like in the other two lessons, here's triangle ABC, same coordinates. I'm going to have you find the equation of the altitude. So find a slope, the negative reciprocal, use the slope and the point, find the equation. Pause the video right here, and then we'll take it up next. if we're finding the equation of the altitude from B, the opposite side must be AC. So we need to find the slope of AC. So I'm going to have -4 minus 8 for the change in y over 0 minus 6, which is -12, for -6, which is +2. My opposite slope is going to be my second step, which is -1/2, because 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So I change the sign, flip my fraction. And now, here's my slope. My point is B. I can go ahead and find my equation. Not a problem. So y equals our slope, -1/2 x plus b. Let's plug that point in. -2 for y and -2 for x as well. Let's simplify. -1/2 times -2 is just 2 over 2, which is 1. Makes life nice and easy. Bring the 1 over, it becomes negative. So -2 minus 1 is -3. And there's our equation. -1/2 x minus 3. Okay. Altitude has nothing to do with midpoints, so we're not going to be using that there. Just think about the height and the features of the height to help you out in that case. And that's all of our lines.